Welcome back. Take a breath because what you're about to hear isn't just an episode. It's a mirror, a confrontation, and maybe a key. This is the Resilient Philosopher with your host, Leon Dantes, and Season 3 begins now. And with it, I open the pages of a new book, The Resilient Philosopher, The Prism of Reality. A book I didn't write to be read, I wrote it to be felt. This episode is not just the launch of a project. It is the unearthing of a truth we've all seen, but been trained to ignore. Because today we confront the unseen burdens of being a leader. And we ask, if leadership is about service, why are so many so-called leaders addicted to being served? Let's begin. Have you ever walked into a room and being the only one who's seen what's missing? Not the missing task or missing file, but the missing voice, the missing example, the missing leader. Let me tell you something. You don't need a title to lead. You only need a mirror and a spine. The Resilient Philosopher, I wrote, your nameplate does not reflect your influence. Your silence does. And in silence, the real ones rise. Not because someone asked them to, but because they knew that if they didn't, no one would. Leadership is not about position. It's about possession of courage, of responsibility, of vision. And yet, look around. Do you see courage in our political leaders? Do you see emotional mastery in your pastors, priests, and influencers? Or do you see actors in robes, titles, and suits delivering scripts sponsored by fear? If you've ever led quietly while others pretended loudly, you're in the right place. I failed publicly, privately, and deeply. And I thank the universe for every single collapse. Because failure, real failure, doesn't destroy you. It melts you. And forges something more dangerous than ego, resilience. And the Resilient Mind, Volume 1, I said, crisis doesn't create leaders, it reveals them. We live in a time of leaders revealed. And it's not flattering. The pulpit has become a stage, the Senate a sandbox. By you, the listener, you fell too, haven't you? You've made decisions that cost you things, time, trust, tears, and still you showed up for others, even when you were barely there for yourself. That is leadership. I once mentored someone who betrayed that mentorship, took my lessons, twisted my words, and built a false empire on borrowed wisdom. I was silent, but I wasn't defeated, because leadership is never measured in applause. It's measured in what you do when no one else is clapping. Let me hypnotically embed a truth. If you're waiting for permission to lead, you've already surrendered your power. You didn't ask to be born. You don't ask to breathe. So why ask to lead? We've trained people to be followers by default. Churches teach obedience. School teach compliance. Government rewards submission. But true leadership is rebellion with purpose. I want you to look at your life. Are you the one holding the family together? Are you the one people come to when chaos erupts? Then stop questioning if you're a leader. You already are. The chain of command is a structure, but command itself, that begins internally. You command your thoughts, your tone, your presence. That's why people follow you, even if they never say it out loud. Let's shine the light now, not on the people doing the work, but on those hiding behind powers. Politicians who change nothing, religious leaders who preach humility while living in excess, supervisors who fear being outperformed by their subordinates. The problem? Insecurity disguised as authority. And here's the hypnotic refrain. Real leaders build ladders, not cages. In The Resilient Philosopher, I wrote, you're not irreplaceable by title. You are irreplaceable when your wisdom becomes someone else's foundation. If your leadership dies with your departure, then you never led. You monopolized. So here's the challenge. Teach relentlessly. Empower obsessively. And watch the insecure ones tremble. Because when power is shared, control becomes irrelevant. Let's talk about the real pain. The one no one posts about. Loving someone's potential more than they love themselves. Have you ever trained someone, giving them your best strategies, your tools, your soul, and watched them throw it all away? Have you ever watched someone pray for change but reject every door you open for them? That's leadership grief, and it hurts. But still, you rise, you absorb it, you cover them in silence, and they never even know. Why? Because you are the protector. You are the shield, the anchor. And while religious institutions preach service, they rarely model it. While elected officials campaign on hope, they often feed division. You, the parent, the teacher, the friend, you've been more than a leader, than many of whose titles fill in the airwaves. So pause for a moment, breathe, and honor yourself. You're not invisible. You're vital. Leadership is not a spotlight. It's a candle in a cave, flickering, quiet, steady. You carry the unseen burdens, and in doing so, you become the light for others to follow. This podcast is not for the popular, it's for the persevering, the ones who serve while without applause. If this spoke to you, then The Resilient Philosopher, the Prism of Reality was written with your name between the lines. If you want to understand how I survived, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, then revisit The Foundation, Leadership Lessons from the Edge of Mental Health, The Resilient Mind, Volume 1. Both books are more than words. They are strategies for survival and transcendence. Visit visionleon.com for 700 plus articles, tools, and reflections. You're not alone. Live with courage, think with clarity, live with resilience, and always show up for yourself. This is the Resilient Philosopher, and we've only just begun. Support our work by purchasing The Resilient Philosopher, the Prism of Reality, now available on Amazon and free for Kindle Unlimited members. Thank you for your support, and visit visionleon.com for the companion article of this episode.